That is ITI colleges, now polytechnic, I tell you, the institutes are to be established in more and more. Sufficient number of primary schools are to be established. Sufficient number of vocational schools, occupational oriented schools will have to be established. Now in ITI and polytechnic, I tell you, the courses, now students are trained, I tell you, for various kinds of industrial jobs like turners, fitters, electricians, carpenters, plumbers, because it so happens that in a country like India, after completing 10 years of education, general education, many of the students, they discontinue their education. They do not enter into the pre-university courses. They do not want to become doctors, lawyers, engineers. See, economic factor is also one of the important factors that contribute to this particular aspect. So they discontinue their education. For such students, now if polytechnic and ITI training cycle are given, now they can complete it within 1.5 years or 2 years. They become turners, fitters, electricians, and they can take up jobs in various, I tell you, the industries. So sufficient number of vocational schools, ITI, polytechnic institutions, I tell you, will also have to be established. Again, when we talk of the educational, I tell you, that I mentioned, professional educational institutes will also have to be established. Medical colleges are to be established, engineering colleges, likewise pharmacy, I tell you, the colleges, management, I tell you, the institutes which offer MBA, I tell you, the programs, now nursing colleges, teacher training institutions. Now this way, large number of educational institutions will have to be established, because India requires doctors, lawyers. Now law education will also have to be given. Doctors, lawyers, engineers, managers, administrators, IAS officers are required. Likewise, nurses, paramedical personnel are required. Now highly trained teachers are required. Lecturers, I tell you, are required. So teacher training institutes will also have to be now established. Likewise, see, colleges which offer general education. Now BA, BSc, BCom, MA, MSc, MCom, subjects like physics, chemistry, mathematics, botany, zoology, geology, history, economics, political science, sociology, anthropology. Now educational institutes, in order to offer education in these various, I tell you, disciplines, will also have to be now established. When more and more educational institutions are established of all types, and when more and more, say, people get educated, now the educational base of the Indian society, the awareness level of the Indian, I tell you, the society, by and large, it will get enriched, and again that contributes to improvement in the standards of living and quality of the life of the people. Now not only we have to establish sufficient number of educational institutions, they should be quality institutions. Quality teachers should be there in all kinds of educational institutions. When the educational upliftment of the people will be there, that contributes to improvement in the standards of the living. Now the next aspect, I tell you, is the health, and at the same time the medical, I tell you, that I mentioned. Now in order to provide health and medical facilities, now in order to improve the health status of the individuals in urban, rural, and at the same time the tribal areas, sufficient number of hospitals are to be established. Of course, in city areas, urban areas, taluk headquarters, now large number of hospitals are there. Private and government hospitals, I tell you, are there. But again, in rural areas and tribal areas, interior village areas, sufficient number of hospitals are not there. Sometimes government hospitals will be there, sufficient number of doctors will not be there, nurses will not be there, midwives will not be there, sufficient number of paramedical personnel, I tell you, will not be there. So in order to provide quality medical facilities, sufficient number of hospitals along with sufficient number of quality personnel, they will have to be what is known as provided. That contributes to improvement, I tell you, in the health needs, I tell you, of the people. Health standards of the people, by and large, can be now improved by that particular aspect. So when we talk of development, such sort of progressive changes, now desirable changes, positive changes, I tell you, will have to now what is known as take place. Now the next aspect is, after the health and the medical dimension, infrastructural dimension. That means providing physical facilities, I tell you, to the people, to providing physical facilities in different areas of the country. Now like urban areas, rural, and at the same time tribal areas. Say transportation facilities are to be provided. Now railway routes, construction of roads, railway roads, now bridges, and at the same time dams. Now interior villages are to be connected through transportation facilities. Different parts of the country, different provinces will have to be connected through railroads. Ship transport facilities will have to be provided to move the cargoes, and again aviation facilities will have to be provided to enable the people to move from one particular area to another area now very easily. When more and more transportation facilities are provided, even to the interior, I tell you, the areas, mobility increases. The movement of the people from one area to another area will improve, and even we move to different states, we move to different, I tell you, the countries. Now when people move from rural to urban areas, urban to rural areas, again it improves the educational level of the people, it improves the awareness level level, I tell you, the people. More and more interactions, I tell you, will be there with the people. And as a result, that also contributes to improvement in the educational standards, awareness level, I tell you, the people. That again in turn will affect the standards of living and the quality of life of what is known as the people. Likewise, we have to construct dams. Now rivers have to be connected. Now when dams are, of course, those things are, many of the dams are there in India. You see, in India it so happens that North Indian areas, North Indian rivers get huge amount of rainfall as compared to the South Indian rivers. Much of the river, much of the rainwater is being allowed to go to the sea. Now on the other hand, if North Indian rivers are connected to South Indian rivers, and even people in the people living in the South Indian areas, they will get a plentiful rainwater, and they can have 3 crops, I tell you, even during the rainy, I tell you, the season. More and more crops, I tell you, we can grow. Water is very much essential for agricultural purposes and also for the irrigational purposes. So when more and more dams are constructed, when rivers, I tell you, are connected in a meaningful, I tell you, the manner, that will help in the agricultural, I tell you, the production.